Every 2 weeks, a paper arrives at about 10,000 doors, shops, cafes, and places to stay around Banks Peninsula. It is free, it is printed, it belongs to no large media company, and its story began on July 21st, 1876. The survival of the Akaroa Mail carries a useful New Zealand idea. A local newspaper is not only a way to hear what happened. Over time, it becomes the place where a community keeps its memory in order. That job is easy to miss when the paper is new. One issue may contain a council decision, a school event, a road closure, a wedding, an argument over a wharf, or the name of someone who grew an unusually large vegetable. None of those items has to change the country. Put thousands of them in sequence, and something larger appears. You can watch a town build, worry, celebrate, lose people, welcome others, and change the words it uses to describe itself. The Akaroa Mail began as a twice-weekly paper called the Akaroa Mail and Banks Peninsula Advertiser. Its founder was Joseph Evis, a printer and newspaper starter who helped establish nearly 30 small papers around New Zealand. He sold the Akaroa paper after about a year. In 1881, Howard Jacobson bought it. His family would own and run the paper for 71 years. That long connection mattered because good local reporting depends on small knowledge. Which bay is cut off after heavy rain? Which family name has 2 spellings? Why does an old hall matter to people who grew up nearby? Who can explain a decision made before the current council existed? A reporter living far away may see separate facts. A reporter rooted in the place can see the thread between them. The newspaper sent reporting trips by launch to Pigeon Bay and Port Levy. In a landscape shaped by steep hills and water, gathering news was physical work. The paper had to go where the community lived. That geography is still part of its purpose. Banks Peninsula reaches east from Christchurch in the shape of old volcanic land. Settlements sit around harbours and bays, joined by winding roads. A national news service can report a large fire or storm there. It cannot follow every local meeting, fundraiser, school change, and disagreement that shapes daily life between those events. Local news works at a different scale. It tells residents what the council decided. It also records that the decision happened at all. That second role becomes more valuable with age. Old newspapers are often where families first find a public trace of an ancestor. Researchers use them to follow businesses, buildings, elections, accidents, farming, sport, and language. They reveal not only what people knew but what they cared enough to print. The National Library's Papers Past collection has digitized issues of the Akaroa Mail from 1877 to 1939. The online collection lets a person anywhere search pages once made for a small part of Canterbury. This creates a beautiful reversal. A paper designed to be local becomes valuable nationally because it stayed local in such detail. The archive also shows why memory needs care. Newspapers are not neutral mirrors. Editors choose what deserves space. Older reporting often reflects the unequal power and attitudes of its time. Some people appear often. Others are absent or described through someone else's eyes. That does not make the record useless. It means the record must be read beside other voices, including oral histories, iwi knowledge, photographs, letters, public documents, and objects kept by museums. No single source holds a whole community. A newspaper gives it a long spine. The Akaroa Mail itself did not survive without a break. Publication stopped for about 2 months in 1985. Publisher and editor Michael de Hamel then took over, restored the paper, and increased its circulation. In 2026, its shape remained unusual. It comes out once every 2 weeks rather than twice a week. About 10,000 copies are printed and delivered free across the peninsula. The paper describes itself as fully independent and publishes local stories written for its readers rather than material copied from elsewhere. Free does not mean costless. Paper, ink, reporting, design, and delivery all have a price. A small area offers only a small advertising market. The newspaper asks supporters and readers outside the peninsula to pay subscriptions because independence still needs an income. This is one reason local newspapers have struggled in the internet age. Online platforms made information fast and abundant. They also took much of the advertising money that once paid local reporters. A community social page can spread a warning in minutes. It can be useful, warm, angry, funny, and immediate. But posts slide down a feed, accounts disappear, search tools change. Rumor sits beside reporting with the same size letters. A newspaper issue does something slower. It chooses, checks, arranges, dates, and fixes a group of events into one edition. That process is imperfect, but it gives the future a stable object to examine. The difference is like a conversation and a diary. A community needs the conversation. It also needs something that remembers what the conversation was about. After 150 years, the Akaroa Mail matters partly because of the great events it covered. It matters just as much because it kept showing up between them. The next time a free local paper appears near a cafe door, take one. Read the small story whose importance is not obvious yet. History often begins as news that somebody decided not to throw away.